Today we are going to discuss about chelating agent, and this is from forensic toxicology. By chelating agent we mean the substance that are used in treatment of poisoning by heavy metals. Heavy metals are the metals that have high density and is toxic even at low concentration. Here I mentioned the name of 5 important metals. Actually, arsenic is not a pure metal. Arsenic is a metalloid. We can say it is a semi-metal, but we discuss it under the uh, category of heavy metals in forensic. The important 5 metals that we have to know about, and I have mentioned the mnemonic. Iron coal. Here I means lead, sorry, iron. M means mercury. Here copper. A means arsenic. L means lead. And by the side of the name of the metal I mentioned the name of the chelating agent. And the most important thing that we have to understand is that one chelating agent can be used interchangeably for the poisoning caused by other metal also. Exception is there is this Desferrioxamine that is used in case of iron poisoning cannot be used in case of poisoning by other metals, but EDTA or BAL or D-penicillamine, these chelating agents can be used in cases of poisoning by not only by these particular metals but other metals also. For example, EDTA can be used in case of poisoning by arsenic also, mercury also. Similarly, BAL can be used in case of arsenic poisoning, mercury poisoning, lead poisoning also. But I mentioned the only one name here for the lead poisoning because this name denotes the treatment of choice or treatment of antidote for the lead poisoning. EDTA is the treatment of antidote for lead poisoning. Similarly, uh, BAL is treatment of choice for arsenic poisoning. BAL is also treatment of antidote for mercury. D-penicillamine is treatment of antidote for copper, and this desferrioxamine is for iron poisoning. This treatment of antidote, this treatment of choice I have taken from the textbook of forensic by Reddy. And by treatment of choice, it doesn't mean that this agent is more efficient for treatment of this particular poisoning. For example, in case of lead poisoning, I mentioned EDT as the treatment of choice, but there are other agents more powerful, more efficient than EDTA for acting in case of lead poisoning. But EDTA is the treatment of choice for lead poisoning. There is no clear-cut concept for why this EDTA is taken as treatment of choice for lead poisoning, because there are other superior agents also like DMSA, but we just need to mock up this name of antidote treatment of choice. Let's see. These chelating agents have greater affinity for the metals as compared to the indigenous in them. Means for the metals, this chelating agent combines more efficiently than the enzymes in our body. That's why it prevents uh, or it stops a further process of poisoning, because it has this chelating agent. These chelating agents have more affinity towards the metal as compared to the enzymes in our body, and the complex that is formed after the agent combines with the metal is more stable compound, and that is more water soluble, so it is easier uh, for our body to extract the complex. It is based on the it is based on the principle that the substances that are more lipid soluble are uh, more absorbed into the tissues, into the cell, and the substances that are more water soluble are easily excreted. Here we have chelating, name of the chelating agents. I mentioned in the previous slide the name of the metals, and there were five important metals, and by coincidence we have to read only five chelating agents also. Here are the names: BAL, BAL, and second one is EDTA. In case of BAL, I have mentioned not for iron, because this is important thing, because BAL is not used for the case of iron poisoning. Why? I will discuss in the uh, next slide. Third, we have penicillamine or scriptamine, and fourth one is DMSA or Soximer or Kemet, and fifth one is Desferrioxamine or Desferral. BL stands for British Anti-Lewisite. It is also known as dimercaprol or dimercaptopropanol. Just remember this name, dimercaprol. And this is physiological antidote. And there are three types of antidote: physical or mechanical. Second one is chemical, and third one is physiological. The agent, that is chelating agent we are discussing now, falls under this category, this physiological antidote. This BAL has two unsaturated SH group. SH means sulfhydryl group, or we can say dithianol, DITHIONAL, THIONAL, dithianol group. This sulfhydryl groups combine with the metal. For example, two sulfhydryl groups of BAL combine with arsenic, and it prevents its union with the sulfhydryl group of the respiratory enzyme system. Means SS group of BAL combines with the arsenic, and it prevents the union of arsenic with the SS group of our endogenous enzyme, and the complex that is formed is relatively stable and water soluble, so does not diffuse into the tissue. Rather, it is carried into the tissue fluids, particularly plasma, and is excreted in the urine. Next one is dosing. I have taken this from Deadly Textbook of Forensic, and this dosing it is especially for the arsenic poisoning. BAL can be used in case of poisoning by other metals also, as the dosing slightly varies, but the dosing that I mentioned is especially for the arsenic poisoning, and it is available as 50 mg per ml injection, means 1 ml of injection contains 50 mg of BAL. I am mentioned one shortcut to remember this dosing. For example, BAL contains 3 liters, so its dose will be 3 ml. As BAL contains 3 liters, its dose is 3 ml, and it contains 3 compounds. One is BAL, second one is benzyl benzoate, and third one is oil, peanut oil or arachis oil, and it has 3 pattern of dosing. Means for the first 2 days it is given 4 hourly, and on the third day it is given 6 hourly, and then onwards it is given 12 hourly for 10 days or till the symptom improves. So this way we can remember BAL has 3 liters, so its dose is 3 ml, and it contains the ampule contains three compounds. One is BAL, second one is benzyl benzoate, and third one is oil. As oil is also present, it is given IM intramuscularly. It is not given intravenously because oil may leads into fat embolism. So preferred route is intramuscularly in gluteal region. And the important thing is dimercaprol is not efficient in case of lead poisoning. In case of lead poisoning, it has to be combined with EDTA that we will discuss in the next slide. And EDTA is given in the form of sodium calcium EDTA. Therefore, this dimercaprol is not uh, useful in case of lead poisoning. If it is given, it has to be given combinedly with EDTA. And maximum dose that can be given is 5 mg per kg body weight, and if it exceeds this dose, then toxic effects are seen like restlessness, salivation, lacrimation, tingling of extremities, convulsions, coma. And for the treatment of toxic effects, we can give ephedrine sulfate as prophylaxis, 25 mg orally, half an hour before injection of BAL. An important thing is contraindication of BAL. It is contraindicated in case of liver damage. Second one is in G6PD deficient individuals, it may cause hemolysis. And the most important contraindication is in case of iron poisoning as well as cadmium poisoning, because dimercaprol forms a compound after combining with cadmium as well as iron, and that compound are themselves toxic. So dimercaprol is not given in cases of iron poisoning as well as cadmium poisoning. Now second, we have EDTA, ethylene-diamine-tetre-acetic acid. It is also known as worsening or calcium dinitrogen worsinate, and it is given in case of lead, iron, cadmium, and others. Means others like arsenic, mercury. I mentioned the name here, lead, iron, cadmium, because while discussing BAL, we discussed that BAL is contraindicated in case of iron and cadmium, but EDTA can be given in iron and cadmium poisoning also. Similarly, BAL was not successful, or it is not efficient in case of lead poisoning. To be used in case of lead poisoning, it has to be combined with EDTA. So EDTA is superior to the BAL because it can be given in case of lead poisoning, iron and cadmium poisoning also. And also it is superior to BAL because also it is superior to BAL for the treatment of poisoning by arsenic and mercury also. Though it is similar, superior to BAL for poisoning by arsenic and mercury, BAL is the treatment of choice for arsenic and mercury. Though it is superior to BAL, BAL is the treatment of choice for arsenic and mercury poisoning. EDTA is the treatment of choice in case of lead poisoning. In lead poisoning, it is given in the form of calcium disodium EDTA. Here it has to be EDETAT, EDTA. Why calcium is given? Because lead poisoning leads to the removal of calcium from the body, so calcium is to be combined with EDTA. Also the chelate or the compound that is formed after the EDTA combines with lead, that chelate are not metabolized by body, and it is good, poorly absorbed by GIT, it is also good, and excreted intact in the urine, and this is very good. And for the dosing, it is also available as ampule, similar to BAL. And to remember the dosing, we uh, must remember two numbers. One is 2 and second one is 5. Just remember 2 and 5. 5 ampule, it is available as 5 ampule of 20% solution. And just remember one number only. Just remember one dose. 25 mg per kg body weight in 250 ml of D5 or NS. Just remember 25 and 250. And D5 means 5% dextrose, NS means normal saline. Over a period of 2 hours, twice a day for 5 days. And gap is to be maintained for 2 days. Now again, second course for 5 days is to be started. So we have to remember about just 2 and 5. 5 ampule is available. Dose is 25 mg per kg in 250 ml over a period of 2 hours, twice a day for 5 days, and gap for 2 days, again second course for 5 days. IM can also be given, but it is more painful, and dose is just half of 25, but it has to be diluted with 1% procaine, and maximum dose up to 50 mg per kg. Otherwise, it leads to toxicity in kidney. It leads to renal tubular necrosis or renal tubular necrosis that leads to oliguria and also low BP. And after the prolonged use, it has also side effect if it is used for prolonged time. It removes all the metals. For example, it removes some magnesium from the body. So treatment has to be stopped for at least 2 days in between the courses. That's why here we have gap for 2 days to uh, maintain the losses. And third one, we have D-penicillamine or kiprimine. Penicillamine, penicillamine, we just remember the name penicillin, and penicillin is an antibiotic, and penicillamine is the hydrolysis product of penicillin. Here I mentioned D. D means dextro, form of isomer. There are two forms of isomer. One is dextro and other one is levo or L. L isomer is not used because it causes optic neuritis. Only D isomer is used. So D penicillamine is used, and it has also SS group similar to BAL, but it is agent of maximum efficiency for copper, lead, and mercury. See, it has maximum efficiency for lead poisoning, but the treatment of choice for lead poisoning is EDTA, not D-penicillamine. D-penicillamine is the treatment of choice for copper poisoning. It is also useful in Wilson's disease, and dosing it is similar to the dose of azithromycin, and that we have to mark up. It's easier for me because I remember the dose of azithromycin. Dose of azithromycin is 25 mg per kg up to 2 grams per day in 4 divided doses for 5 days. But here just remember the penicillin as antibiotic. So dose of penicillamine is up to 7 days duration, and dose is 30 mg per kg body weight up to 2 gram in 4 divided doses, and it has to be given half an hour before meals. In case of children, just dose is made half. Just empty the capsule and just take the half dose and and put it in the fruit juice and give to the children, and give, otherwise the children won't take. It can also be given IV. And fourth one is Desferrioxamine. It contains iron, trivalent iron as a chelate. It is useful in case of acute iron poisoning or hemochromatosis. Also in cases of transfusional chronic iron overload. In blood transfusion also sometimes iron overload occurs. So in that case also desferrioxamine can be used, and no effects in case of other metals poisoning. And dosing we have to mark up. And important thing is that it has to be given both orally as well as IV, because orally it helps to absorb the iron remaining in the stomach, and why IV? Because it helps to bind the iron that has already been absorbed. And for the oral dose we have 15 mg per kg body weight, and for IV we have 2 gram in 5% levulose solution. Every uh, in levulose solution, levulose is monosaccharide, and it has to be repeated 12 hourly if necessary. And last one we have DMSA, di-nercepto-succinic acid. It also possesses the sulfhydryl group similar to BAL, but it has better therapeutic index and also more hydrophilic, and it is superior to EDTA in treatment of lead poisoning. D-penicillamine is also superior to EDTA. DMSA is also superior to EDTA in lead poisoning, but treatment of switch in lead poisoning is EDTA. Why it is superior to EDTA in lead poisoning? Because it does not lead to redistribution of the lead to blood. Also, it is less toxic to kidneys, and also it can be given patients with G6PD deficiency, and it would be better if EDTA is combined with this succimer in case of lead poisoning. And dosing 10 mg per kg orally every 8 hours for 5 days, and then same dose every 12 hourly for 14 days. And last we have slide containing benefits and drawbacks of chelation. Benefits are it is effective against acute poisoning, and the complex that are formed after chelation are non-toxic to the body. And important thing is it removes the metal from the surfaces. And oral therapy is also available. And drawbacks, we have no removal of metal from intracellular sites. These are different from soft tissues. Metal removal and metal removal from intracellular sites are different. And drawback is important drawback is hepatotoxicity and nephrotoxicity, and on the another important one is essential metal loss. For example, in case of EDTA, I mentioned magnesium loss is there, calcium loss is also there. Therefore, in lead poisoning cases, EDTA is given in combination with the calcium. And there is redistribution of toxic metal also, but it is list or it is not seen in case of DMSA, as I have said earlier. And poor clinical recovery is also there, and other side effects like headache, nausea, and increased blood pressures are there. And this ends our section of chelating agents.